Super Eagles technical advisor Rohr has released his final 23-man squad for the FIFA World Cup in Russia. The duo of Aina and Mikel Argu were the two players dropped from the initial 25 players, while Simeon Wakwo made the final list. Also included are the trio of Tyrone Ebuehi, Chidozia Waziem and Brian Ido. The opening game at the World Cup is against Croatia on June the 16th. Meanwhile, the three-time African champions, the Super Eagles, have arrived and settled down at the Avita Resort training camp in Austria as the team intensify the final phase of preparation for the team on all fronts. On Wednesday, the Eagles will travel the short distance back to Vienna, where they take on the Czech Republic at the Rudolf Thon Stadium in their final pre-World Cup friendly. The Super Eagles have so far picked just a win in the 5 friendlies lined up for the team in preparations for the World Cup. Nigeria defeated Poland by a lone goal, lost to Serbia 2-0, drew with the Democratic Republic of Congo 1-0 and lost to England 2-1. And in the Nigeria Professional Football League leaders, Lobi Stars continue their chase for a first league title with a comfortable 3-0 win against the Yobe Desert Stars at the Apaku Stadium. The only away win of the match day 24 was recorded in Nnewi, where Lagos-based side MFMFC stunned their host FC Ifeanyi 1-0. At Lafayette City Stadium, Nasarawa United edged out Aimba 4-3 in a highly entertaining encounter. In other league games, Wikitoris beat Niger Tornadoes 1-0. Heartland FC edged out Go Round FC by same scoreline. Rivers United and Sunshine Stars of Akure played out a goalless draw. El Kanemi Warriors defeated reigning champions Plateau United by a lone goal. And to tennis now, where second seed Alexander Zverev recovered to win from 2-1, down for a third consecutive match at the French Open earlier today. The 21-year-old German edged out the Russia's Karen Chanov 4-6, 7-6, 2-6, 6-3, 6-3 and has progressed to his first Grand Slam quarterfinal, where he will face Austrian Dominic Thiem. Zverev is now the 7th German man in the Open era to reach the last 8 at Roland Garros. Meanwhile, Novak Djokovic beat Fernando Verdasco in straight sets to reach the French Open quarterfinals earlier today. The 2016 champion at Roland Garros in 2016 wasn't broken by the Spanish veteran in a resounding 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 victory. Djokovic has only lost one set on his run to the last 8 of the tournament and will next meet Marco Cecchina. This is after the world number 72 defeated David Goffin 7-5, 4-6, 6-love, 6-3. On the foreign scene, no fewer than 35 migrant bodies have been recovered as 68 others are rescued alive in an ongoing operation off the coasts of Tunisia and Turkey. According to the Tunisian Defense Ministry, the migrants were of Tunisian and other nationalities. Security officials say the boats they were traveling in had been packed with about 180 migrants, including around 80 from other African countries. Over in Turkey, the Coast Guard said 9 migrants, including 6 children, drowned in an accident off the country's Mediterranean coast. Their boat capsized early this morning near the town of Demre in the southern Antalya province. The migrants said there had been 14 to 15 people on the vessel, while authorities say they are still searching for one other person. Syria's President Bashar al-Assad will be making a scheduled visit to North Korea in the near future, which would make him the first head of state hosted by the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un since he assumed power in 2011. No date has been mentioned for the meeting, but the Syrian president is quoted as saying, "I'm going to visit North Korea and meet Kim Jong-un." The comment reportedly came as he received the credentials of North Korean Ambassador Moon Jong-nam. Assad is also quoted as saying that he is sure Mr. Kim would achieve the final victory and realize the reunification of Korea without fail. Both countries established diplomatic relations in 1966, and the North sent troops and weapons during the Arab-Israeli War in October 1973. Their leaders have been accused of cooperating on chemical weapons, and both deny the accusations. U.S. President Donald Trump will not be taking the option of self-pardon in the Russia collusion investigation, even though probably he has the power to do so. The head of Mr. Trump's legal team, Rudy Giuliani, says the president has no such intentions, adding that the political ramifications of that will be tough. Meanwhile, the president's tough stance on trade ties with China has seen threats being made to impose extra tariffs on $50 billion of Chinese goods. The Chinese government warns of futile trade talks between officials of both states if the U.S. sets up trade sanctions.
U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross and China's Vice Premier Liu He shaking hands and posing for photos at the Daoyutai guest house in Beijing following their talks on Sunday. Earlier, Ross had said that the trade talks he had had since arriving in Beijing a day earlier had been friendly and frank. A statement released later by the Chinese side said the talks have seen positive and concrete progress. The two sides had good communications on work in agriculture and energy, among other sectors, in implementing the consensus reached during the trade talks in Washington 2 weeks ago. Liu is a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and chief of the Chinese side of the China-US Comprehensive Economic Dialogue. China's stance has been consistent. It is ready to increase import from countries including the US in order to meet the people's ever-growing need for a better life and push forward high-quality economic development. The statement also says that it is in the interests of the people of both countries as well as the world. It is also in China's national strategy to carry out reform and open up and expand domestic demand. A White House statement last week, which took aim at years of unfair trade practices, warned the U.S. would pursue 25% tariffs on $50 billion worth of Chinese imports.
And the main news again. The Nigeria Police Force has invited the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, to explain his alleged involvement with the suspects arrested in connection to the Offa bank robbery, which killed over 30 lives in April. Forces PRO Jimoh Moshood says the invitation became necessary following confessional statements by the 5 gang leaders, which indicted the President of Senate and the Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. The President of Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed have denied having any link with the suspects as claimed by the police. We also told you how 35 migrants drowned in the Mediterranean Sea en route to Europe off the coast of Tunisia and Turkey. And that's news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Do have a good night.